in class, I'm going to be going over internet safety. And there's a couple of videos that I'm not going to be able to show in this video because making a video of a video doesn't make sense to me. But I'll attach them probably down below. So, Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, all African American, were programming pioneers learning to code in Fortran, helping to get the first humans to the moon. They had overcome so many obstacles as advocates for women in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and so they've written a book about them. They've made a movie about them, although fictionalized a little bit. There's a lot of stuff in there that really is. And so we're going to talk about how to stay safe on the internet, how to avoid phishing scams, how to create a folder. We're going to talk about passwords, I think, next. So here we go. First, there's a video on cybersecurity and what ways can people use your information against you. I've got all sorts of stories about that. And then, so if you click where it says cybersecurity, there's a video there. Online safety. And there is a document that goes with this, and you're going to list 3 ways you can stay safe online. And so there's all sorts of stuff, either stuff you learned today or stuff you previously knew to be true. So this is an old Beastie Boys album, 1986. If you look at the tail fin on this plane, it says that the tail number is 3MTA3. And for years, I mean, parents didn't ever recognize that, but the kids right away knew that if you looked at that backwards, it says "eat me." And so I'm going to use that as my naming protocol. Anytime you can transpose letters to numbers, like the 3 is the E backwards, stuff like that, is really going to help. Using a $ instead of an S, using the at symbol instead of an A, all of those helps disguise your password. But instead of coming up with a password that you're going to use over and over and over and over again, like my grandmother probably would have come up with a phrase that, I don't know, she would have used that same password for everything. And then if one website gets hacked, the hackers have all of your passwords. So instead, what you do is you come up with something like this. I'm going to do that 3M and then TAE or TA3 as my base. And so then if I was to go to a site like Facebook, I would maybe put an F and a B, and a lot of places need 8 digits, so I put a 1. So that's going to be my naming protocol. If I was going to Instagram, I would type IG1. Oops. But that kind of thing, my Netflix account would have been that. I can't even do anything right today. Netflix 1. And so by having a naming protocol, I know what my password is each time. But if a computer were to see it, if a hacker were to use AI, there's no way AI is going to be able to hack my code, because to it, this is a unique code. It has nothing to do with that one. And so even if one of my passwords was compromised, not all of my passwords would be compromised. And so that's a password scheme versus a password. Then I just need to remember these digits, and then maybe put, like, if they ask me for 10 digits, maybe 23 or 1 exclamation point $sign or something like that. I'm going to do something to make it 10 digits long, but that's an 8-digit code that's pretty much unhackable by AI. From there, we're going to talk about phishing. I have fallen for phishing, and I'm going to show some examples of emails that I get in class. They also now send texts that look really legit. Like they'll say, hey, let's meet up for a party after school or something like that. And you click on it thinking it's one of your friends, and then, yeah, you just gave all of your information out to whoever wants it. And so we're going to talk about how to avoid phishing schemes, but there's some out there that are really, really, really good, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference. So you just have to be ever vigilant when you're online. Assume that if somebody's asking you for something like your secret code to something, that it's a scam of some sort. So how do we use phishing and coding? We understand what it is and we practice safe internet actions, like not opening random links, not giving out personal email attachments. In class, we're going to talk about that as well. And so then we talk about how we manage files in our Google Docs. And then we've already talked about how to name things. But in this class, you're always going to name things. It says it right here with P and then the number of your period number. So like if I was in period 6, it'd be P6. Then my actual last name. And then I'm going to put an underscore and whatever the project's called. In this one, I think it's called safety. And so I'm going to name it P6 Johnson Safety because period 6 is my period number and then Johnson is my last name. But we're going to spend the whole period looking at that and hopefully finding some ways to stay safe online. And then I'll see you in the next video.